right. Watch this for a little bit, and then we'll get into Fortnite.
Did streamers really ruin gaming, or are you just trash? In this video, I'm going to talk about gaming before streaming was popular, and gaming after streaming became popular, and by the end of this video, you'll have an answer on if streaming really ruined gaming or not. Now, a few months ago, I was actually scrolling through Twitter, and I saw this tweet right here that says, dominating blue-collar workers in BattleBit. If you don't know what BattleBit is, well, it's basically like Battlefield and Roblox, and this is pretty much the whole clip. Yeah, pretty much that guy is just straight up dominating people. Like that's pretty much it. And I saw
I'd argue he's aimbotting, but you know, it is what it is. This guy's mostly right about what's going on with gaming right now. It actually started back in 2016, summer 2016. Okay. No problem, bud. So he's almost right. It started back in 2016 when esports blew up, and then almost every game became unplayable at that point. Almost every single one. Like Overwatch, Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, all of them could be unplayable the following year. It was like really, really bad. Streamers definitely made it worse, though, to be fair.
A quote tweet that said, esports ruined casual gaming. Now, I know the whole title of this video is like something along the lines of how streamers ruined gaming, but I'm gonna put streamers and esports kind of in the same category. I say that because with streaming, you kind of gotta either be good at a game or funny, and with esports, you gotta be good at a game. So I'm gonna put them both together because they're pretty similar, if I do say so myself. But to really understand this, we gotta go all the way back to 2018, the Fortnite boom. Before Fortnite was this cringe cash grab that pretty much just preyed on little kids for money, it was a game that nobody truly knew how to play and everyone had fun with it. I mean, back in 2018, every single human being was talking about Fortnite. I mean, back then you had Fortnite meme pages, every single human being was posting their wins, people were doing emotes IRL.
Fortnite move! Oh, do it again. Fortnite move, bitch!
I mean, that's how we got the infamous ninja clip.
Everyone wants to get it. Come on, baby. Show me what you got. Show me what. Just move. If you got to know it, just move. It's all I want to see some movement. I'm not seeing enough movement. Oh my God.
And since Fortnite was so popular, one thing that also became popular because of Fortnite was streaming. Back then, Twitch was like pretty niche, but I'd say that Fortnite made Twitch more mainstream. And you may be asking, why did people go to Twitch and not YouTube? Well, the thing about YouTube is that a lot of YouTube videos are edited, and some people, they may be good on YouTube, but it's like on Twitch. Twitch is live, Twitch is raw. So if you lose, like people are gonna see you lose, and if you win, people are gonna see you win. And that's why Twitch was so popular, because you could see high-level gameplay in real time.
Yeah, that was the thing that made Ninja popular, was that we have these YouTubers that would edit their gameplay down. Even Cypher talks about this today, where he would try to get some gameplay ready for a good video, and they couldn't get a win because people are either cheating or they're botting or whatever the story is. And that was the problem with YouTube stuff. So, into live streaming, but like Ninja would be legit. Like he'd be at it all day long, and you get to watch him all day rather than just 20 minutes. So that's one thing about it. The only problem is we're seeing Ninja become a major asshole, so it's kind of coming full circle a little bit.
To determine if somebody was truly good, all you had to do was just watch them on Twitch. And with Twitch becoming so popular, some streamers that a bunch of people were watching back then was people like Myth, Ninja, Dr. Lupo, Nick Mercs. The whole Ninja versus Myth argument was like the biggest topic in school. I remember I was back in like freaking 10th grade and we were arguing at lunch tables talking about if Myth or Ninja was better. I'm not gonna lie, back then I was team Myth. But with all those popular streamers and pro players,
I'd argue Myth was the better player. He just got unlucky. He was way too fucking nervous at that event. That was the biggest downside of him. But other than that, he's still a good player.
Being in the limelight, that made more people want to be a pro player / streamer. I mean, did y'all see how some of these Fortnite teams were getting down? Bro, I'm telling you, if I had to crank a few 90s to be a freaking Fortnite pro back then, I probably would. And that's exactly where the downfall of gaming happened. everyone started focusing on the money you can make from gaming rather than the fun from gaming. Fortnite used to be this game where you try to win by doing these creative strats like building a sky base, building a huge metal base, or maybe even camping in a bush. But then it turned into this huge sweat fest when people saw that you could make abnormal amounts of money from this game. Back then, if you shot at a dude, they would probably start shooting at you back like they wouldn't even build. But now, if you shoot at somebody in Fortnite, they're building a whole freaking skyscraper hotel with Wi-Fi. It's actually wild. Now, let me say this right now. I do also say that that's kind of just time. Like, with time, people get better. But my point is that everyone's playing games to be the best rather than to just have fun with their boys.
Tfue kind of confirmed this a little bit. Recently, an interview, I think it was from like a few years back, where it talks about what made Fortnite fun was when everyone sucked and he was one of the few good players, but then everyone got good and it sucked after that. It's one of those things to where it's like, you don't put too much into it or else everyone's going to react to a certain degree.
Everyone is playing to be watched on Twitch or watched on YouTube. I mean, you ever play a game and you get killed by somebody with a TTV gamer tag and you go to their Twitch and they're not streaming at all? They're just sweating just to sweat. Like
That's why I don't do TTV in my fucking tags. I say no. My regular name, that's it. You want to find my Twitch channel or my YouTube? By all means, go ahead. You want to subscribe? Appreciate it. But, or follow, it's up to you. Not going to push for it. But, I'm not going to sit there and promote it 24/7.
Everyone is just playing for that top spot because in that top spot, you can make content out of it. And with that content comes a whole lot of money. Unless you're playing like Farming Simulator and you're a pro. I don't really think you make a lot of money from like pro Farming Simulator. But I don't know. I might become a Farming Simulator pro. You never know. Bars. But yeah, everyone's pretty much playing to be watched. I remember back then, games wouldn't really get sweaty until like 2 or 3 weeks after release. But now, games are sweaty off the rip. It can be 5 days away from Call of Duty coming out, and you already got a dude making a video saying, best class setup 2023, MW3, and it's like, bro, the game hasn't even released. It can be 2 weeks before 2K comes out, and a dude already has the best build. It makes no sense. And when the game comes out, people are only gonna play the meta, because when you only play the meta, you can win more, and when you win more, you can get up to that top rank, and when you get up to that top rank, you can stream, create content from it, more people are gonna watch you because you're up high on the leaderboards. And then this,
believe it or not, Splitgate 2, when that launched, it died almost immediately because one lady called this out. I forgot her name, but she's called it right away. She said, who gives a fuck? As soon as you jump into the game, you're going to be nothing but sweats on day one. Who gives a shit? And I was like, yeah, it's like that with every multiplayer game, especially when it's free. That's the downside.
Cycle just continues and continues and continues. And now everyone's just playing the same because everyone's just trying to be the best to be able to stream it / be watched. Back then, you would play games for the fun because there was really no money involved. But now it's like every single human being is trying to become the top streamer. And it's like, bro, like, where's the fun in that? Back then, gaming tournaments were giving out speckles. I'm telling you, if you won a gaming tournament for like freaking Mortal Kombat or Halo or something like that, you were probably going to get 50 cents in a Big Mac. But now, if you win a freaking...
Nah, you get probably a couple $100, maybe a t-shirt, limited edition Xbox, maybe. But no, the winnings were far less, so I agree with them a little bit on that. They were far less because it was all about the community. It was all about the fun of it and the proper competition. Nowadays, it's like you go to a Fortnite tournament, $500,000 off the bat, and it's like, even I don't agree with that payout. I'm like, no, we're just gonna have cheaters up the ass going to that stuff.
In Fortnite tournament, or you just win a freaking Call of Duty tournament, dog, you're honestly set. You can buy your mom a freaking mansion. People are getting millions from tournaments. I mean, look at Booga, bro. Didn't he won like 3 million, I'm pretty sure, off of Fortnite? That is wild. That is insane money. Another thing about gaming after streaming is that games that aren't even sweaty are becoming sweaty. For example, Fall Guys. I remember back in 2020, every single human being was playing Fall Guys during quarantine. And with everybody playing Fall Guys, TikTok got a hold of that. And I remember scrolling through TikTok one day, and I saw this one dude making videos of the best strats on certain maps on Fall Guys. And I just thought to myself, what do you gain from being a sweat in Fall Guys? What do you gain? Like, I understand you're trying to show people how to win and stuff, but I feel like the reason why Fall Guys was so fun was because nobody was making strats or anything. People were just hopping in, having fun, just playing like headless chickens,
Some of these companies are trolling players up the ass. Nintendo does this with Mario Kart. They make the best build of the game, the weirdest, most immature build, but everyone picks it because it's the best, and everyone picks that. They don't care what it looks like, and it's like, Okay, you're clearly making fun of yourselves at that point. And they're like, well, I win. And it's like, who cares? Who cares if you fucking win? And in Fall Guys, when I found people were switching Fall Guys, I was like, come on. This is a casual game. Give it a rest.
I feel like games die out quicker when you're making all these strats and stuff on how to win when it's not even like, obviously, yes, the goal in Fall Guys is to win, but I feel like the whole point of that game is to enjoy the journey. Like the fun with friends, the freaking hurdles you're going over, that one dude griefing you on the map. Like when you're only focused on trying to get crowns in that game, the game becomes less fun because you're just focused on the destination rather than the journey. Imagine coming home from a long day of school or work and you're getting sweated on in Fall Guys. Imagine you're over there just trying to chill, you know, you're on this little cutesy game that's like Wipeout, and out of nowhere, TTV Try Hard for Life literally just claps you every single map, and it's like, dude, you can't even have fun anymore. And since everyone's tryharding, games are now catering to the bad players. One thing that games have been implementing is this thing called skill-based matchmaking. If you don't know what it is, well, I'll basically explain. Think of a lobby where all the top players from a bunch of different games all get into a lobby with each other and go head to head. Basically ranked play, but with no bonus rewards or anything. You just kind of get into a lobby with the best players without getting any specific reward in casual play. And the thing about skill-based matchmaking is that it's unfair because the good players are being punished for being good at the game. And it gets to this point where it's like winning feels like a chore rather than actual fun. Because back then, if you truly wanted to sweat, you would go into like a ranked game mode or something. But now, if you're a tryhard, you're gonna play every single other tryhard 24/7 just because you're good at the game. Back then, games like Call of Duty, what they would do, you would join a lobby, and if you wanted to leave that lobby, you would just leave it, and if you wanted to stay after the game, you would stay. But now, after a game...
Well, the problem is with that, he makes a strong point here. So the problem with what he said about Call of Duty back in the day is that some players would quit matches all the time. They get into a match, they're there for like 3 seconds, they quit. They see a line they don't like, or one guy shoots wrong, and then they quit the match. And it ends up being an imbalanced match because all of a sudden you get other players show up in there, and it ends up being a shit show. That's why they invented skill-based matchmaking, so that when you're in a game, it matches you up to players supposedly up to your skill level. That's what it's supposed to do. Part of the problem is that since people will leave matches all the time, Overwatch had this problem. They had to start penalizing you for that. So you leave the match, you get penalized. You do enough times, you get banned for an hour or 5 minutes or whatever it was. So it was like, it was ridiculous. I got a solution to this problem for Fortnite. So what Fortnite should do, and I know this because I used to run an arcade back in Las Vegas. What they should do is for their skill-based matchmaking, here's what usually works. Now, when people walk into my arcade back in the day, they would play, a game they know they can beat or get really good at, and they play that and they beat that game. Spend less money on it. Then they figure, you know what, I'm going to try a game I haven't tried yet, and they try a harder game. Let's say the first game they played was, let's just say Arctic Thunder, which is a real easy racing game. A lot of fun, but it's real easy. Okay, they play that, they beat a race there, no big deal. Then they go to, say, Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2, they get wrecked in the second match. So they figure, okay, you know what, I'm going to go play something else. So then they go play another game or two, maybe 3, that they know how to play, and they beat those games. Just have a little bit of fun. Give us a little bit of a break. And then they go back to a hard game, and then they try again. So when you think about it, most players just want a break. So here's what they should do. This is, I think, what Fortnite should do with their skill-based matchmaking. If you launch into the game, let's say after a few hours, give or take, maybe once a day, if you haven't logged on, you log back into the game, and then it automatically puts you in a match full with almost full of bots. And if you win that, then it puts you in harder matches for a little while. Roughly 3 to 5 losses in a row you do. Then it puts you back in matches with bots again, and then lets you win maybe 2 to 3 times in a row. And then the cycle continues. If you do that, people are more inclined to play the game longer because you got to give them a break at some point. It's all chemistry. Now, what they could also do, and I haven't seen them do this yet, they should do this. Offer what's called the NPC mode. Okay, as we know, Fortnite has NPCs in its main map. So what you should do is offer players the opportunity to play as an NPC. Now, what that means is that you launch into the game, you're in a restricted spot that usually has some stuff going on. Usually like what's going on right now with the bug invasion, you just shoot bugs for for the match. And then if a player sees you, they can hire you. And once they hire you, now you can get into the match and help that player get to a win. If they did stuff like that in Fortnite, player engagement would be a lot better. And people will play longer because at least they're getting a break from time to time, at least getting a few simple wins. It's way easier to do it that way. The casual mode, I think, is another step in the right direction. Hopefully they put that out because we need that right now. We need a break.
Game is finished, they just transport you to a whole different lobby with everyone else who also did good. And it's like, now you gotta go head to head with all the big dogs just because you won one game. I remember Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, that had some of the worst skill-based matchmaking ever. That game was borderline unplayable because if you won one game, you would be playing the freaking Optic roster from freaking 2014 just from winning one game. And another way of games catering to bad players, Fortnite adding bots into their games just so you can feel better about yourself. Let's be real, it is 2023. Nobody is a default anymore in Fortnite. I mean, back then, yes, there were people who were bad at the game, but nobody is so bad that they're literally running into a wall 24/7 in Fortnite.
No, there are. I ran into them. There are. They're still in there. The problem with doing it right now is that some players leave the game because they're sick of the bullshit. I know because I'm one of them. And the new players jump in because they haven't jumped in a while. And they run the same problems. You also get new players from time to time because Fortnite still caters to kids. And there's new kids every day. So they always jump into a game and try it out. But like I said earlier, I think that the skill-based matchmaking should be set up in a way to where you get a win right off the bat, but then they give you a little bit of a tough run for a little while. Then they give you some more wins and make the wins a bit more frequent. Because they do that, it's easier to stay invested in the game because then you can start fun with it. But also, I think SBMM should be ranked only. I mean, there's a ranked mode for a reason, but for some reason they put it in every mode, which messes everything up.
So now it's like there's no middle ground between the good and the bad players. It's like, if you're good, you're being punished, and if you're bad, you're being rewarded. There's actually this tweet by FaZe Sway that says, "The downfall of video games started when kids complained about people being good at the game. I remember when I was a kid and saw a Master Prestige in COD, I didn't tell him to take a shower or go outside. I sent that MF a friend request." And that's facts. Instead of actually putting in the work to be good, a lot of people just sit there and complain, and now games are kind of catering to them. But one game that I say that kind of bridged the middle ground between the really good players and the really bad players is Street Fighter 6. One thing that Street Fighter 6 did, they added something called modern controls and classic controls. Classic controls, basically you have to do more to push out a combo, and if you do that successfully, then that combo does more damage. But if you play modern controls, you only hit square or something and it'll do a full combo, and those combos do less damage. So it kind of bridges the gap between good and bad players. But that's a whole fighting game. How can this be fixed in like games that are like FPS or something like that? In my honest opinion, I say that FPS games should just go back to like the regular lobbies, Back then, you could join a lobby, scope out the lobby, see who's like the freaking best players and stuff. And if they were a little too good for your level, you could leave if you wanted to. Like, I don't think that you should be transported into the freaking universe of the top 12 Call of Duty masters after you.
The other problem also is smurfing. That's another huge problem. Even Pokemon's guilty of that. Having a second account where you jump in and have easier lobbies. Like, even that messes everything up. Because you go in there, you say, oh, I'm level 3, and then all of a sudden, like, you wipe the floor with everybody. And it's like, okay, you're not level 3, okay? No. And, it's a continuous problem. My guess is what I stated earlier, what I think they should do with the matchmaking to make it a little bit better. But also, like, just offer, like, a bot mode, which we do have in Fortnite now. It's made by, I think, another individual. At least you get something. It should be improved, but it's still something. So, but offer other options to make the game enjoyable,
Win one game. I feel like there should always be that option to stay if you want to stay or leave if you want to leave. There was nothing wrong with those lobbies back then. It's just like games just wanted to cater to the bad players, So it's honestly just like, gaming is just honestly a huge sweat fest. And that rounds back to like the ultimate question of this video. Did streamers really ruin gaming?
Yes.
My honest opinion, yes. I 1000% believe that streamers in esports ruined gaming. Because there is no reason why people should be sweating at a game where you literally farm cabbages. How do you even sweat in Farming Simulator? How? Let me know in the comments. Do y'all think streamers / pro players ruin gaming? Or like, what's your guys' take on this whole situation? Let me know. But yeah, this is going to wrap up the video. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you. If you guys...
It goes up to this guy. What is this? Cameron? It's up to him. He's really good. Yeah, he makes some strong points there.